everybody, how's it going? And welcome to my review of Bombshell, a new movie directed by Jay Roach and starring a ton of people, including Nicole Kidman, Charlize Theron, Margot Robbie, John Lithgow, a lot of people. So I was really looking forward to seeing this film because it tells, well, it's mostly based on the true story of the taking down of Fox News CEO Roger Ailes, who was a creepy old man who sexually harassed a lot of women, including news anchors such as Gretchen Carlson and Megyn Kelly, played by Nicole Kidman and Charlize Theron. And naturally this caused a huge scandal in what is one of the world's biggest media empires, and was kind of fitting in this whole Me Too movement period that we live in, where we've got people like Harvey Weinstein and a whole bunch of other people who are doing these terrible things towards women. And yeah, it's an important story to get out there. But it's a story that I just wish had been told better, but I'll get into that in a minute. So for starters, things that I liked about the movie, the cast was absolutely great. Not only did they fairly well resemble the people that they were meant to look like, but the performances were absolutely solid. I mean, Charlize Theron is up for a Best Actress nomination for the Oscars. Margot Robbie we've got as a Best Supporting Actress. I thought John Lithgow, buried under a ton of makeup and prosthetics, you really did get a sense of, I don't know, intimidation and creepiness from this guy, which was really necessary for the character. And keep in mind, when I say character in this thing, obviously a lot of these people were based on real people, but I'm just going to say character because, you know, it's a movie. One person who was fabricated for the story, I'm sure there's a lot of people, but Margot Robbie's character was actually created for the purposes of the story, but she was quite an integral part of the plot. And again, like, you know, Margot, look, yeah, I got a thing for old Margot, but she is a really good actress as well, and yeah, she gave a great performance too. And the overall message that the film was giving, I thought was, yeah, it was really positive. It was trying to kind of, you know, it wasn't just empowering females, but it was telling them that how important it is to stand up against these kind of things. You know, it's a thing that obviously you got to go really deep into, which I'm not going to do here, but I know there's a lot of situations in life where people don't want to speak up against these people, or there are women who think that it's okay to do things, you know, in order to get ahead in the corporate ladder. And this movie definitely tried to empower people in order to stand up against oppressors, such as Roger Ailes. And I did like some of the dynamics between the characters. Charlize Theron and Margot Robbie had a really good scene where their characters, Megan and Kayla, who was Margot's character, had a little bit of a tense moment between each other, and yeah, I thought that was really good. There were a lot of other relationships between characters that I thought worked quite well. And I'm really stretching here because, yeah, trying to think of other things that I thought were good about it, but yeah, not much else is coming to mind, unfortunately. Like, I wouldn't say this was a bad film. It's definitely not something you need to go and see on the big screen. It's fine on TV one day when it comes to streaming or whatever. Because overall, it just fell flat for me. Now, this is a kind of movie, you know, this is a portrayal of a really big scandal and something that was really important, and I never got that sense of grand scale. Like, I never really, yeah, it just wasn't compelling. And I think that was a lot to do with the fact that the tone was kind of all over the place a little bit. Like, Jay Roach is a comedic director. I mean, this guy's come from things such as the Austin Powers movies and Meet the Parents. And yeah, you could tell that he was kind of injecting a little bit of his own comedic personality into some of the lines of dialogue. And I also had a really big issue with how this film was shot. There were so many uses of zooms in this film that were totally unnecessary. I don't know if they were trying to give it like a documentary sort of a feel, which, yeah, it really didn't work, but there were so many times where the camera just zoomed in unnecessarily on people's faces or whatever, and yeah, it was really off-putting. And overall, the whole narrative just, it felt choppy and disjointed for me. It just kind of felt like a bunch of scenes being put together rather than telling a really engaging story. I mean, on the surface, this film, it told its story and it delivered its message, but I just really wanted it to delve deeper. I really wanted to just, like I said, feel more. I think maybe it was because we didn't really know a lot about the characters in the film. And again, I say characters, I know they're real people, but yeah, we didn't really know enough about them. The story didn't tell us enough for us to really get behind them. So when, you know, terrible things are happening to these people, or when you find out that things have happened in the past, yeah, it's terrible, but you just don't really empathize with them enough, which is a shame because this movie had so much potential. Yeah, funnily enough, I don't know why, but for some reason when I saw the trailer, I thought this film was set in the 80s, but yeah, it's not. It's set in 2016. But that's irrelevant. Anyway, like I said, look, it's not the sort of film you need to go out to the movies to see. It's not a bad film by any means, but yeah, at the same time, I just didn't really feel that it went deep enough into the subject matter. So I'm going to give Bombshell a 5 out of 10. And over to you guys, if you've seen Bombshell, I'd love to know what you thought of it. I know this film has been out for a while in the US, but yeah, we only just got it here, so yay us. So let me know your thoughts, drop me some comments either here, Facebook or Twitter. All the social media links are in the description below, because I like to talk about movies and I would love to talk about movies with you. Catch you next time.
Click subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest movie reviews. Skynet will be taking over any day now, so what have you got to lose? Nyah.